I think it's official. Now we can really say that Rooney is back, because there's always sort of that thing. Yeah. After the hiatus, like, okay, here's an album, but are they back for good? And I guess this is a real thing. I can take you for your word now.
No, it's true. I mean, I appreciate that. No, I think I totally hear you on that. I think it can happen where a band takes time away and then they come back with this record and you're like, here we are, and then you go through another dip where there's maybe that tour caused some more time to be taken off the road again, so I hear you on that. I think my intention was just to get up and running and then go. Like, let's not look back. Let's not worry about too far ahead. Let's just keep working.
With this next move, and you've got the whole new lineup and everything, putting yourself aside, I'm sort of wondering, like, do you look at this as chapter 2 of Rooney, or is this like a whole new book?
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's a book series, let's just say, like, if you're looking at a shelf of books, I wouldn't say Rooney's like been one book for me. Like, I think this book has been an ongoing series, and this is like a new part of that series. That's really the way to look at it, because it's been just such a dense journey thus far that I just don't think it could be whittled down to chapters. So anyway, but it still falls within the Rooney, the Rooney title. I hate to say brand, because that was always like in the early, when I got like originally signed, it was like, it was like with a management company a while ago, it was like, we don't do bands, we do brands.
Oh.
And I was like, it was just so hard to digest that as like a young, musician. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but it is. I mean, people, I was thinking about it today, like, it's pretty cool. And I mean, I really don't look at this as like a small thing, but like when you can go on the road and tour and play for people who support or really, really love the music that this project has made, and they will come out and get a ticket and be a part of that show, it's pretty special. There's really not a lot of stuff that you can kind of compare that to. And like, I feel really lucky that we have a project that people identify with for so many years and still care about. And that's really, really why it's the fuel. It's the fuel that keeps this engine turning.
And you talk about, identifying and also being so young when you started this band. I mean, when you look back at those early songs, I know it can be sometimes hard for artists to relate and connect to the really early stuff. And for you to have written those at so young, like, I don't know, does it feel like you're covering yourself, or are you still able to really get behind those?
No, they feel like songs. They feel like they were the first time they were played, Wow. Like we play Blue Side. There are songs that are staples in the show because they mean a lot to the sort of how we got going. And I don't want to say they're expected from the audience, but they were singles. They're the reason why some people found Rooney. So like when those songs are played, I stop every now and then. I stop and think, wow, this is so wild. I'm up here right now playing the song. It's like, how many years ago was this come out? But then I think about, all those bands, those iconic artists that have been around for like so many more years than this. I mean, look, we're going to celebrate our 20-year anniversary in about a year and a half, which is crazy, right?
Congratulations.
So like, thank you. So like, that's pretty amazing. But there are artists that are doing their like 60-year anniversary or something. It's like, what? Like, I mean, I don't know what the oldest anniversary. I'd love to actually know what the historic anniversary is, but like, those are the artists that have been playing those songs the longest, and they do it. So it's like, you just gotta. For me, I think it's just like, it's more about the reaction. It's more about the way people feel when we play the song, as opposed to my own interpretation of how I'm feeling about it. Because live music is really a two-way street. I mean, it's not. I've been saying this to every crowd every night. I said, I'm not here to play for you. I'm here to play with you. So everyone is a part of the show, and we're all playing Blue Side and Shakin and When Did Your Heart Go Missing? You know what I mean?
Beautifully said. And as a side note, if I have my guess on the longest anniversary, now that Chuck Berry has passed, it's probably Little Richard who gets to celebrate, just because he's been around the longest. So
that's true. Good call. Yeah. By the way, we played with Chuck Berry. Rooney opened for Chuck Berry, which is a crazy little piece of history. Pretty insane. But it was a college show in Iowa, and the bill was Rooney and Chuck Berry.
Wow.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? It was like when the show, because the college was booking they wanted to do like a mashup of two artists, of like a younger artist and an older artist.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up with Chuck Berry, and it was so cool playing with him. I have so many stories from that night, but pretty epic.
Yeah, I never got to see him play, and I'm in Louisville, and St. Louis is right down the road, and I always meant to go over there and catch him at Blueberry Hill, and of course, I waited too long, and that moment passed.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump into the new EP with El Cortez. I guess the idea, from what I understand, for this EP, that you had some songs on the back burner that you just wanted to get out that didn't belong on the albums. Is that right?
No, there were. Well, the history of this EP, El Cortez, is so we moved to went to Las Vegas. I mean, just so you can get an image in your mind. So we played a show in Las Vegas, this place called the Bunkhouse Saloon, which is the locals only kind of like rock club. It's in downtown Vegas. It's got a really good vibe. We've played there a bunch now. And when you walk around that area, you start to understand, this is the community of like the Las Vegas community. Because when you go to Vegas as a tourist, you just you're up on the main strip, and it's just like big, over the top stuff. So we walk into this vinyl record store, and we appreciate vinyl. I know you do. Mm-hmm. And it's wall to wall vinyl. He's the guy in town that's selling the cool vinyl, and the back door is open. I hear some music playing. I peek my head into the back, and I walk back down this hallway, and I walk into this amazing recording studio that's like the sickest. I mean, it's like the guy, like Ronald, who runs it, has got it dialed in. It's beautiful, at 11th Street Records. And I'm like, hey man, we're playing at the Bunkhouse. And he's like, yeah, Rooney. And he was like, he liked Rooney. And he was like, hey man, if you ever want to come record here, just hit me up. So we hit him up. We booked time. We moved to Vegas. We live at the El Cortez Hotel, and we cut this EP there. And in doing this EP, it was like, okay, well, let's look for these, the best music to put on this EP, because really, everything you put out it represents you now, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm going to put my best foot forward right now as an artist with my music. And with all these albums that have come out, have been really fought, till the end, to just get the best songs on the record and fight the label, you fight all the powers that be to get your message across. And now, so it's like, I want to keep that flow. I don't want to just throw music on the record. So I went back to the drawing board and found some old demos, because I keep a lot of demos on different hard drives, and I have a lot of ideas I've just kind of kept untouched. So I wanted to start there, because I don't want to overlook things that might have been really good for Rooney. So I went back and found some really good songs. There was one called Tell Me What We've Learned. That was always like a really cool riff and chorus, but I never really had the verse fleshed out properly, and I never had the song structure done. So we kind of brought that one in. One called The Time Is Now was something I had also had and really, really loved, but just had been waiting for that right time to go in and cut it the way I wanted to always record it. So that song hadn't been fleshed out in its entirety, so I reworked that. Second Chances, some people know that I made a solo record in 2011. 6 years ago, I made this solo record called Double Capricorn. And Second Chances was one of the songs on that record. I never felt like I ever really pushed it or promoted it or had anyone really know about it. And I really liked that song, so I started playing it with Rooney live. And then when we went to cut the EP, we said, you know what, let's include it, and let's cut this so people can hear the song within the Rooney show and on all these records. There's a song called Day to Day, another new song idea that went back and got absolutely finish. I mean, these are really early ideas of songs, but right. The way I write is I end up sometimes collecting ideas. They could be anything from a riff to a piano melody to me singing a cappella, and then I'll go back and take those ideas and actually do what I always intended to do, which was finish the song. And there's a song called It's You, which is like a ballad that we've been playing live, and I thought we should cut it, but it was from a Palo Alto soundtrack that I recorded a song for this movie, Palo Alto, mm-hmm. and we went and cut it for Rooney. So It's a 5-song EP, and it's a mixture. It's a blend of like some ideas I've had, but I never really got to really give the time of day. And I'm really like, I couldn't be happier, because it's interesting with music. You can have an idea that you put on the back burner, and that back burner you can keep that back burner on for a long time. But what's interesting about music is sometimes you're just not there at the right time to record that song. Like sometimes it wasn't right for you to make that song at that time. like an idea came, but for whatever reason, I wasn't ready to finish the song. And in going back to it, now I have a fresh perspective and I'm more fired up and fueled and ready to go. And I like, for example, tell me what we've learned. Like, I'm so happy with the way that song turned out. And live, people love that song live without even hearing it. But the verse was a completely new, fresh idea. And I feel like I would never have written that verse had I not had this time to step away from the song. So anyway, it's everything happens for a reason thing, but I think music is like that. Like, I think you just got to let the music tell you when it's ready for you. You know what I mean?
And I will add to that, you know, with these songs, I mean, it's an EP that plays like an album, and everything is completely cohesive. Like, a lot of EPs can sound a bit like a hodgepodge, you know, sort of thing. They can just...
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
This doesn't do that.
Well, that's good, because I definitely avoid that. We never want that. And I think part of the sequencing and mix and flow, it was all tracked together. So you want to get that cohesive sound, even if it is. I mean, EPs to me are like awesome because it gives people the right amount of music for them to digest something in one sitting. Mm-hmm. And I think today, like, we're so like, there's so much stuff to like consume constantly, and like everything's pretty much playlisted, or like there's so much stuff out there. You listen to albums and fragments anyway. So EP gives people that chance to just kind of get right into it.
I love it. I love what I've heard so far. I will point out, you know, there's sort of an obvious joke when you talk about Second Chance, the song itself getting a second chance, but it also seems sort of like a theme song for Rooney at this point, you know, and however many incarnations.
No, you're right. I'm glad you picked up on that. Well, I feel when I sing that song, I always wonder, like, do they think, I wonder what this means to them? But to me, you're right. I mean, it definitely, it's taken on that meaning because, yeah, I mean, like, it does feel like a rebirth, a second chance to go at this, you know, as a project. And when you take a time, let's go back in history, right? Let's look at the first Rooney record. 2003 comes out, right? Mm-hmm. Second record, 2007. Third record, 2010. I mean, let's put all the hiatus aside. There was still huge chunks of time between every album. Mm-hmm. You know, and like we move in such a fast and even faster kind of flowing world. Like that, those 5 years is like an eternity to a lot of people. That's like a generation has gone by, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's like, it is like a second chance for me and this project to be able to say like, yeah, I'm serious. Here I am. And I care. I hope you care. And I'm going to keep making music as long as, you know, people want to hear it.
That is the best thing I've heard today, right there. I'm so happy you guys are doing this. So
yeah. Thank you. No, thanks for supporting this. And I'm glad you dig it. And I hope to keep giving you guys some new stuff that you enjoy.
Definitely.
That's the goal.
And congrats on everything else.
And we'll be on the road, man.
Yeah, I guess the unicorn is the latest thing in your other life, right?
So yeah, I mean, I got to direct part of the taking time from Rooney. You know, there's a rhyme and a reason. I got to write and direct a feature film called Dreamland, which went to Tribeca Film Festival last year, and then it got picked up and distributed, and now it's on Netflix. So for all the Netflix viewers, they can watch it. Mm-hmm. And then I wrapped a second feature called The Unicorn, and we just shot it in LA and Palm Springs, and we're currently in post-production, and it'll hopefully come out. Hopefully people will be able to see it next year. But we just want people to know about it and check it out, and hopefully get their hands on it at some point. But if they follow me online or stuff like that, they'll get more information about it on my Instagram, the Robert Shwartzman Instagram.
To be creative and have all these different avenues, it's a nice way to go through life. So
they all connect. I mean, music and movies, I mean, come on, like, you know, the best movies are amplified by music. Right. It's like, you know what I mean? Think about all those epic movies and you're like, take the music away. Mm-hmm. You're like, what do you have here? You know? Yeah. So it's like, really, like, I grew up watching movies where music was the focus, or music really was just the score brought tears to your eyes. And I got to write the music for Dreamland. I want to write for Unicorn. So it's like, I feel like I get to kind of merge what I've learned from Rooney all these years and then take that with me and be able to contribute that to like film projects as well. so it's all like one, kind of fabric. It all ties together.
Well, like I said, it definitely makes it fun for us too. So I'm glad you're doing it all.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Robert, it's been fun talking to you. We'll catch you out on the road. All
Thank you so much. Yeah. Enjoy the EP, and we'll talk to you later.
We'll do. Take care.
Take care, man. Bye.